I see we have some people coming in now. First check, can you all hear me? Hello, Ethan. Okay, great. Just to check as well, is the quality okay for everyone? Okay, that's great. I think we're just about to get started. I feel like a lot of people are going to struggle today, so... And here we go. If you're just joining us, then hello and welcome to the GRL stream of round 18 for the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm expecting a lot of people to struggle around this track, and I am expecting a lot of crashes, so we'll see how everyone deals with it. The first sector seems to be the place where everyone's struggling. And we have the first person coming out on track, and it's one of the McLarens. it is the McLaren of Charlie, who's first out on track, going through the first sector. If we look towards the Drivers' Championship at the moment, it's quite interesting. It's quite a close gap between Robson and Brandon at the top, 9 points separating them going into this weekend. And I'm sure Brandon will want to close that gap even further. As we now watch Charlie come through the final chicane to begin the first flying lap of the session. All the pressure on him. Through turn 1 and 2. Difficult corner to get right as the car's constantly understeering away from you, but he seems to have made it all right. And through the first sector where everyone seems to be struggling on the curbs, and he nearly loses it there as well. But so far so good. As through Degner 1 now, and Degner 2, leaving a little bit on the table there in terms of track limits, but trying to play it safe and get a clean lap in to start off with. And towards the spoon curve now. This is a difficult one to get right once again, the car just constantly understeering away from you. It's difficult to tell when to get on the power. But Charlie seems to have done well there. Now coming down the long straight towards 130R. It should be flat and simple, probably the easiest corner on this track. And just like I said, pretty easy. And into the final chicane. Ooh, he just kept it inside the lines there at the first apex. And up to the line, the time to beat is a 1:30.9. Not a bad time at all to start off with. But Josh goes, well, 9/10 quicker. You can see someone's got their practice in. And Jamie, 4/10 off Josh to begin with. It's a very good banker time. And a 29.2 now, the time to beat. That's a very impressive time. As Dan goes ahead of Josh with a 29.9. I'm sure he'll be quite happy with that one. And Siv, a 1:31.2. 5, sorry. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right. Robbo now, coming towards the final corner. Very greedy with the curb. But it's within the limits and up to the line. To 1:29.7 to put in P2. Josh making his way through Degner 1 and 2 now. Yellow flags ahead. Just seems to be some lap traffic. Probably not the exit he was looking for. It seemed a little bit slow. The yellow flags are still there. That's through. Curve. Ooh, there's a spin in front, and ooh, Josh himself spins, and there's another spin. I told you it was a difficult corner and a difficult track. Very easy to do that here, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more. Z10 on another lap here. No, he's not. He's coming into the pits. Is Robbo on another lap? Oh, definitely not with that. So he cuts the corner and comes into the pits. So after the first round of laps, a 1:29.2 is the time to beat. As we see some cars coming out on track now for that second stints. I believe Jacob will be the first to start his second stint. It's through the final chicane. Perhaps a bit slow to start the lap. That might cost him down the straight. Car's doing well to get out of the way. As into the fast turn 1 and 2 he goes. And into the tight, twisty S section. It's important not to take too much curb here. And a small lift there, and that's the lap invalidated. And the car, can he keep out of the wall? Seems to have gone away with that. And let's see Josh through the final 2 corners. Perhaps a little bit left on the table through there. And it's not a representative lap. Or did my timing just work out? Looks to me as if he's pushing still, so this could be a second stint. And he has gone purple to the first sector. As he now approaches spin. Double left-hander. Kept it inside the lines at the first turn. And on the exit of the second. A lap guy in the way, but he's sure to get out of the way, but he's given him a good toe. It's purple again by 2/10 as we approach the final chicane. Can he keep it together? And he has done quite well, up to the line now. What will the time be? It's a 29.6. Still 4/10 off. But that is a very, very good lap. And it looks like it's raining now. It is raining. Well, this is a twist. And so I think this might be pretty much how the session ends. Other than these lap times that are coming in right now. And yep, DRS disabled. And it's gotten so wet out there so quickly. I think you're like, this is going to be it. This is all the running we're going to get for qualifying. As, yeah, into the pits, everyone comes. everyone left out there is not going to improve. But those who haven't set a lap time will look to set one on the inters. In a battle for the last 3 positions. Ooh, and it's very treacherous out there. Oh, and there's the spin. And yep, that looks to be it. So, at the end of qualifying, it looks like Jay has secured a very nice pole position with a 4/10 gap to Josh behind him. And I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. As I think, yeah, everyone's starting to retire from the session. And even if you do go out there now, I think you're going to struggle to get a lap in from what we're seeing. Tell you what, if the race is like this, from what I'm seeing right now, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be all about who has the lightest touch on the throttle, who can keep it in a straight line, and will end up getting the best result. I think Jacob's going to have another crack at setting a lap time. He just runs wide but doesn't invalidate the lap. But you can see how bad the understeer is. And then the oversteer suddenly snaps in about mid-corner. You have to find the right balance when to push the car. Ooh. Caught on the first one. As the Williams and the Wall, they tried their luck in these conditions and it didn't turn out very well. It's a battle for Jacob just to keep it inside the lines at the moment. I don't think the lap time will be anything representative, but it will be a lap time to put him up a couple of positions for the race. Through the final 2 corners now. On the run up the line, to put himself P14 on the grid. 1:45.6. That shows you how bad the conditions got out there. Dino's also trying his luck. It really feels he can go quicker, so maybe that lap on the softs was not a very representative time. And don't know whether I cursed him there, but he's hit the wall, and that's going to be that. So we didn't quite get the action we wanted from qualifying, as it got cut short by quite a bit due to the rain, but it was interesting enough when we had the times coming in. And I don't know what's happening with my game, but I don't think the tyres are meant to look like that. But there you have it. Jay takes pole position by 3.5 tenths over Josh in second, and Robbo following behind, 5 tenths from pole. And unfortunately, I don't get the insight that the drivers did. I don't know what the conditions were for the race and what they're going to be now. So they will have been able to, well, if it is going to rain, they will have had time to prepare in this session. But given how little cars came out on track, I think it might be a dry race. And there'll be a quick break while we switch servers to stop any further glitches from happening. And it looks like quite a few people were on the verge of improving when the rain hit. So it's quite a shame that the rain hit so quickly to stop any progress they had. And I think the fight for pole could have actually been quite a tasty one up until that point. Or at least the fight for second. Jay seemed to have quite a bit of pace over everyone else, but I don't know how many people were improving. So what's everyone's predictions for the race then? I don't think it's going to be easy for whoever wins. And I believe we're just about ready to start. I don't know if I should be hoping for a clean race because I don't know, that might make this stream a little bit boring. I'm hoping for a lot of action, some spins, some crashes. Not that I wish that on anyone in particular, just spice things up a bit. And unfortunately I've got to wait for everyone, otherwise I would be able to give you a grid rundown, but unfortunately it is not going to show me the... there we go, race director. No. And here we go for the formation lap, and now we have the grid rundown. So Jay will lead us away from pole position, great lap from him, with Josh closely followed, he will hope, and Robbo will be looking to get in on the fight from third. Dan, if he can get a good start, is right behind Josh, so maybe both Mercedes could get past the Ferrari at turn 1. And Shane starts from P5 with the two Hasses behind him, Ethan and Jamie respectively. Ashton starts from P8 and he will have Brandon for company, as we see the predicted pit stop strategy. A one stop is the most likely option from mediums to hards or vice versa. Behind Brandon we have Charlie rounding out the top 10 with Yaboring starting from P11 and Asta Siv, again not sure how to pronounce that, will be starting from P12. Dino and Jacob take up P13 and P14, and UV and Josh are the only two who did not get a lap in qualifying. They'll start from P15 and 16. As the leaders come up to the grid, we'll see who can get their parking perfect to get the best launch. It looks pretty perfect for Jay. Ooh, Dan has jumped it a little bit, but the front three all parking very nicely, as well as everyone else. That's somewhat embarrassing for Dan, to be honest. As the cars are now on the grid, and we go to 5 red lights for the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a good start for Jay as he pulls away from Josh. Robbo behind, getting a better start than the Ferrari, but Dan up to P3. He's overtaken his Mercedes teammate, and yellow flags behind. And there's a McLaren in the wall of Charlie. And I think there was a little bit more squabbling. Shane's down the order now as well. But up front, it's a perfect start for Jay. As there's a lot of squabbling going on at the back of the field. As we make it past the first sector. And it was surprisingly clean, other than the one or two incidents. Everyone made it through cleanly, so congrats to everyone. As Jacob might be looking for a move on Ashton. Drops back in the exit of the previous corner. Oh, and hello, Shane up the inside through Spoon. That's a great move. It doesn't pick up much of a toe down the straight to make it 2. It's further up the field. There's a lot of bunching up going on, a lot of squabbling as Ethan trying to go round the outside of Robbo, and they're both gaining on Dan. And Ethan gets blocked off. Good defending from Dan to help out his teammate. But he's slow through the corner, and that probably hasn't helped Robbo as much. But at the front, the battle starts to come into play. McLaren now looking to get involved, trying to get the switch back on Ethan. Playing this really well, and that is a beautiful run. Down towards Degner 1, round the outside. This is not where you want to be, and smartly backs out of the move. So coming down to the hairpin, just drop back a little bit. Gets a bit greedy with the curb there, and that's going to hamper him slightly, as Jamie also looks to join. Behind Shane, side by side with UV. Round the outside of Spoon, that's not going to work out. As he understeers off and has to cede position. Oh, and there's a spin from UV at the same corner, and that does let Shane past. Up front, ooh, Jamie maybe outbraking himself there. Nearly goes into the back of the McLaren as Jay sets the fastest lap of a 1:33.4. And now Brandon with Jamie's horrible run out of the last corner, looking to make a move. He's on the harder tyre, and Jamie does back out of that move. The outside is not the place you wanted to be there, so smart move from Jamie to get out of the way. He's on the softer rubber, he can probably get past later on. But Robbo seems to be trying to hunt down his Mercedes teammate, who seemed to get a little bit out of shape in the braking zone for Degner 1. Just clipping the grass a little bit. Shane looks to be making another move, this time on his Red Bull teammate. To back out of it, but he's got a much better run, and now can he make the move around the outside on the grass towards Spoon on the inside? This is the place you want to be, and he has made the move, and he will keep it. As Jamie now looking to get back past Brandon. The heavy braking zone of the chicane is the perfect opportunity, but he lifted ever so slightly into 130R, and that's lost him all the momentum. And getting caught on the curb on the exit, not what you want to be doing. But Robbo here, side by side with his Mercedes teammate, as yellow flags in Sector 3, and I don't think Dan made that too difficult for him. As I think UV had another spin coming out of the final corner. But Jamie all over the back of Brandon. You can tell he's struggling on the harder rubber. And Jamie seems to have a lot of pace in this early stint, as Jacob gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's something else to watch out for. Any penalties can drastically affect the race result, as we saw in Singapore. Jamie looking to get the switch back, get the better traction, but can't get the foot down quick enough. Brandon running wide, missing the apex, but Jamie misses the second apex. But a tighter line might help his run and the slipstream. Through 130R. Sounded like a little lift again, but these two are now closing up on McLaren in front. And that has given Brandon DRS, which will help him keep Jamie behind. As now Brandon has made the move using DRS. But on the softer rubber, these guys are going to want to get back past. And you can see, trying every line to get past, but Brandon defending perfectly. Planting himself in the middle of the track as, Jamie retires from the race. Is that a spin on one of the curbs in sector 1 as the safety car is out. I believe it's a little too soon to be making a pit stop, as Jacob receives a drive-through penalty for speeding in the safety car. I'm not sure whether that was a glitch or whether it was intentional speeding. But he's got the penalty nonetheless. Goes past the safety car, as he's entitled to. But here's the question: the leaders pit. Jay is into the pits, but for which tyre? Josh does not follow him in. It's the hard tyre going on. Jay's going to want to make these go to the end of the race, I think. It's a bold strategy, but it could work, as he's the only one of the leaders to pit. But Shane comes in as well, fits the medium tyres. That's going to be a 2-stop strategy, an aggressive one. As UV comes into the pits as well. He's had a couple spins on those tyres, so he'll want to get them off. I believe it'll be the hard tyres again. Yes, it is. So 2 people might be going to the end of the race. It'll be a big ask, but they could do it. Josh now leads the race with 2 quick Mercedes behind him, both on the hard tyres. It's going to be interesting to see which strategy is going to work. Josh decided not to pit. Might try and a more comfortable one-stop. It's going to be interesting to see how long the Mercedes can take their tyres now. Will they be able to go straight to the softs for the end of the race, or will they have to stick on the mediums? same goes for Brandon. He might be on a good strategy to get him past Ethan. Perhaps onto the podium with Josh. Maybe falling down the order. And this should be the last lap under the safety car. Should find its way into the pits at the end of this lap and we'll get racing again. But Jay, after pitting, is in P9 on fresh hard tyres. He will have to fight his way through. But if he can take the tyres to the end and manages to have decent pace develop, I think he's in a very good position to win this race. But that's a big, big if. The rest of the pack has now caught up. Josh, the leader, looking to hurry the safety car along a little bit. As there's a little bit of confusion going on behind. Was there some contact there? What is happening? Is this some lag? There's a lot of confusion going on in the midfield. People being told to return positions, clearly, as Dino gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I'm sure that'll be disputed. As UV is disconnected. And the safety car is in this lap. Josh now becomes the safety car, going through the last two corners. It's his decision of when to go. And his decision is now. As we restart, he seems to have gotten a decent jump over Robbo, 6/10 already. That's going to help him out massively. As Ethan looks to be on the hunt for the Mercedes. Their tyres won't be heated up as much as Brandon into the wall. Was that off a curb? Once again. He seems to have avoided any sort of damage. Yeah, he seems to be carrying on alright without damage, but we'll see at the end of the lap if he boxes or not. As the McLaren wants to get a better exit over Ethan, but doesn't seem to know he's fallen back, as Ethan is actually attacking Mercedes again. As Josh starts to romp away a bit, he's got a second gap now. And Ethan will be willing all the straight line speed, but he doesn't have it. As Ashton makes his way up into the 11th past Dino. A good exit from Ethan here, and he could be on the Mercedes. He goes defensive early, but the straight line speed difference is massive. Dan clearly running left wing, and you can see through the corners just how much Ethan is catching. Trying to avoid the curbs at all costs. As Shane, excellent teamwork from the Red Bulls to slow up the Alfa Romeos, and it could be a triple overtake for Shane, and it is. What a move through the first sector, a very unorthodox place to make the move. But some Red Bull teamwork, whether intentional or not, thwarted the Alfa Romeo partnership that seems to be unbreakable so far. But will they be able to fight back? Shane is on fresh mediums. He's going to be a quick driver out there. As Jay approaches the back of the McLaren, he's clearly been the quickest driver today. As DRS now enabled as Josh crosses the line to start lap 10. Robbo closing the gap ever so slightly. Now 7 tenths between them. We have the Red Bull pitting, I believe due to some damage. As up ahead, this fight seems to be slowing down in Ethan. As Ethan seems to go quite deep there. Doesn't get the exit over down. As here comes Jay. Got the speed, round the outside, return to the inside. Surely this is moved on. Oh, and some contact there. The McLaren wanted to dart back up the inside, but has not made it work. There's no room there, and has lost part of his front wing, and forcing Shane onto the grass. Round the outside, Shane runs wide, and I believe that will be a warning for Shane. Maybe an illegal overtaking. Might have been far enough ahead already if the McLaren pits. But this has brought both Alfa Romeos back into the fight with the Red Bull. That's not the move we really wanted. Ethan seeing as wrap. Oh, I think that may be the commentator's curse. As he's stuck on the curb, just made it off. He got quite lucky there to make it off. But dropping so many positions. P10 now. From what could have been a podium, and his tyres. His tyres are overheating. Now out of the point, not out of the points, different point system as the drops all the way down to P11. And that's unfortunate for him. He was having such a good race, battling for the podium. And I think that's just classic commentator's curse. But up for the race for the lead, Robbo. The gap down to 3 tenths between him and Josh. Can he make the move? Down the start-finish straight. DRS enabled. As he sets the fastest lap, a 1:32.9. He's got the slipstream, got the DRS. Josh is going to force him around the outside. And he smartly backs out of that move. But are Josh's tyres starting to fall off? Is he struggling with tyre wear? Or is Robbo's pace just that bit extra? As Josh runs very, very wide through Degner 1, and that's going to put him under pressure going into the hairpin. Has Robbo got the run to make the move? He doesn't go for it. Decides to bide his time. He looks like a tighter run through the corner that might help him on the exit with the slipstream. Coming down towards 130R, what will Josh have to defend with? It doesn't look like too much. He has the inside line. Robbo backs out, but dives it down the inside. No, once again, doesn't go for the move. And Josh pits, presumably for the hard tyres to go to the end of the race now. And that releases Robbo into the lead. As behind, Dan still holds P2, but under ever-increasing pressure from Jay, as Yuvu gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I don't think he's still at the end of the race anyway. But Dan will be looking to play the back marker for his teammate, hold up Jay for as long as possible, and gain the points in the constructors. As yellow flag in sector 2, as it's Brandon yet again. Must have gotten on curb out of Degger 2 and lost the rear end, and it's a great run for Jay. And surely this is game over. No, Dan. How low Rip wings is Dan running? Seems to have a straight line speed advantage on everyone. And this might hinder Jay's progress up to Robbo. Robbo once again set the fastest lap at 1:32.7, beating himself like 2/10 there. And even with DRS, Jay can't catch Dan. It's going to have to be done through the corners. As we have Ashton and Charlie both pitting. Brandon seems to still have avoided damage and continues on. The battle continues between these two. The P2 currently. And wanted to make the move but thought better of it. But he knows that he doesn't have the straight line speed over Dan. He's going to need to build a gap before straight. He's got such a massive advantage through the corners. But this time Dan doesn't pull away by quite as much. There may be a chance here for Jay. Thought better of it. Will look to get a better run out of the final corner. Dan doesn't seem to have gotten the best drive. And here we go, DRS enabled. This could be the move for second place. Down the inside goes Jay, but Dan will fight him to the bitter end, round the outside. This is brilliant. But in the end, the Williams does get up into P2. But that was great racing from both of them to leave the space as Shane spins out of turn 3. I don't think that's the last time we're going to see that, as Charlie gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But as I was saying, brilliant racing from these two. Having the respect to leave each other that space, but also be able to fight that hard. Very impressive. As another yellow flag, this time in sector 1. As who might that be? Looks to be cleared up. And Dan has now fallen out of that sacred second gap. No DRS for him. And that might be his chances of beating Jay gone. As Charlie looks to close in and overtake his McLaren teammate. Going down the straight, he'll have the toe. He is gaining rapidly. And that looked like some coordinated teamwork there. There's one McLaren, let's past another. Ah, and that's Brandon, who's just come out of the pits. Sorry, Josh, who's just come out of the pits. That'll be the medium tyres towards the end. And I think both Mercedes are going to do what I said before. And switch to the softs for the end of the race as yellow flag in sector 1. Ooh. Was it Charlie having a spin? As Yuji is out of the session. And that is another safety car, and that is a blessing in the skies for both Mercedes. And rightfully so, Robbo takes the initiative, goes into the pits. But it's the medium tyres. Will Dan go onto the softs? Jay follows them in. Slight pause there, but Dan's on the mediums as well. And is that the mediums? That looks to be the mediums as well. Yes, it is. Shane onto the hards. That's an interesting strategy. He had used 2 medium compounds already, so that does explain that. No one attempting a run on the softs. Clearly the tyre wear is quite bad here. This now leaves us with a very interesting run to the line, as Robbo leads from Jay, from Dan, from Brandon, Josh, sorry, keep getting the 2 alphas mixed up. Shane might be a sitting duck here on the hards. His tyres are going to take a long time to warm up and will be slow from the off. Josh on fresh mediums as well. Had a bit of bad luck this race with the safety cars, but will hopefully find his way at least into the top 5. Surprisingly little penalties today. We did expect a couple more than we did get. As Ethan actually, maybe he's listened to me, I don't know, but he has switched onto the soft tyres. Clearly doesn't have anything to lose and wants to risk it all to gain as many points as possible. And the safety car should come into the pits this lap. We should be resuming. Robbo this time as the leader. And this is where the different strategies came in. Jay was forced to pit sooner on the softer tyres over Mercedes. Probably guessed a safety car was to come and decided to stay out on hard tyres. That is why Robbo now leads. As Robbo taking a very adventurous line. And wouldn't be surprised if he tries that to get away on the restart, given how well it worked there. Waiting for the confirmation, and it does look like the safety car is coming in. Or not. The safety car's not. No, the safety car is in this lap. It took a long time for that to be announced. And Robbo now gets to choose where to bolt. And he's gone, but Jay has responded well and already weaving on the straight. Robbo trying to break the slipstream. Jay does not go for the move there. But behind, there is some too wide action as Ethan has made up a position, I believe. There is a yellow flag for Jacob at the rear. But multiple drivers going too wide here. As in front, this Dino being an absolute saint for Josh, holding up everyone behind. Was that a spin from Dino? I think it might have been. Or at least some contact was made. As Ethan in P8, where has that come from? What a run. And Josh attacking Brandon. Both on the medium tyres. I'm surprised they've not caught up to Shane as much as I thought they would have done. Shane's done really well to hold them back. And down the inside, nearly... Oh! Nearly goes into the back of Shane, and unfortunately has turned into Brandon, and Brandon unfortunately gets a penalty which I'm sure will be removed. As what was that from Dino? And a safety car has come out. Stop the race again. I'm not sure what happened there with Dino. It seemed like it might have been a glitch, but at the same time he might have just crashed. And what was that? Brandon stopping on track, and Ethan went into the back of him. What on earth is going on here? Now the Red Bull going slowly. I don't think anyone knows what position they're meant to be in. And if I saw right, I think Ethan, yeah, Ethan is missing his front wing. And that is unfortunate for Ethan. He'd made his way through the field really, really well. But some confusion under the safety car there. And some jostling for position. But it just seemed like Brandon slammed on the brakes. And Josh as well, another loser in that battle. He now finds himself behind both Red Bulls. The Red Bull here seems to be backing up the rest of the field. We've now all caught up, but will the safety car come in? No, the safety car is still out for another lap. And Robbo might be quite thankful actually, because it's another lap less for Jay to catch and attempt an overtake on him. Jay will be hoping for a restart like last time. He got that perfect. He knew exactly when Robbo would go. And he was right on the back of him all the way down the straight. Half the field now is on soft tyres, while the other half are on mediums, with the exception of Ashton on hards. This is going to be an interesting end to the race, because you will have all these drivers trying to make their way up, but the others will be struggling for pace and temperature at the beginning. Surely this time around the safety car will be in, and Robbo will have to lead the pack away again. As there is the confirmation for what is hopefully the last time Robbo will lead us away, but he's got it all wrong. And he slows the pack down once more. And I believe that was Dan's front wing coming off, and has Robbo backed them up too much? Here comes Jay, down the inside, backs out of the move, as that looked like a Red Bull, very far up the inside. And it's 4 wide nearly, going through the S's. Someone's front wing came off before the safety car had even properly come in. And the soft tyre runners have gained massively, almost swapping with their medium counterparts, so a lot of squabbling going on at the first couple of corners. But Dan here might be looking to do his teammates some favours. I'm not sure what's happened to Jay, 1.4 seconds behind Robbo. I don't know if there was contact at the first corner, it didn't look like it. But Dan seems to be closing in by quite a lot, so maybe some damage on Williams. As he gains in the slipstream, but behind him is the Red Bull, very close behind. 3-1 POTR, will we make a move here? No, decides better of it. Can he get the run down, start finish straight? Looks like he might do. No DRS yet. All the way to the pit wall. Clearly covering off the inside. Clearly wants the inside. But Dan's going to try it anyway on the outside. Backs out, and smartly so, because it looked like the Williams got caught on the curb slightly. As behind, I think Ethan has had an off. The yellow flags briefly, but he's up and running again. It's been an up and down race for him. As now Dan has lost out to the Red Bull, or has he? It's 4 wide. Dan looked like he'd cut the corner a bit there. And a switch back from the Red Bull to get back past Josh. It's all happening here. 2nd to 5th is the battle. As Josh has a penalty. There's some squabbling going on lower down the field, but here there are 2 spicy battles. As Jay runs wide, Dan, oh, and that is not the end of that battle that you wanted to see. Dan wanted to go for the gap, but the gap closed a little too quickly towards the apex. And that is once again the safety car. But that might have helped Jay. And Jacob up into P4. That has certainly helped him. And Dan pits, replaces his front wing and is down in P9. That's unfortunate for him. Maybe a little too eager to make the move, but it was there. As Jay did run wide. But the gap closed a little too quickly. I'm sure that'll be discussed at the end of the race as well. I'm not quite sure what happened to Shane, maybe an instant earlier on during the lap. It was his teammate who got involved with Dan and ended up out of the race. But these last 10 laps not tell who was going to be up, fighting for the podium really, as Jacob, who was last not too many laps ago, is now P4. And Josh as well has been all over the field. It doesn't look like there's any damage to Jay's car. It might have just been a couple of mistakes that dropped him that far back from Robbo. He's probably getting a little frustrated now, given the fact that he had his lead. He had his pole as well. But a string of safety cars have led to him losing it to Robbo, as the safety car is coming in once again, this time for the last time. And Robbo backing them up massively once again. Doesn't want to get the exit that he got last time. And he doesn't. He's away. And it's already a 6/10 gap to Jay as Shane retires. I'm not sure if he went into the back of someone. It looks to be at the final chicane. But Josh now gets the pounce on Jay. All through this twisty section, looking for a way round, and they've touched. And that's an unfortunate end to the battle for P2 once again. Ethan benefits once again as in front. It's wheel-to-wheel racing, and that did look like a corner cut, and rightfully so, I think. The penalty is awarded. Could Jacob have a go for P2 here? And there must be some damage on Jay's car. He looks to be understeering a bit, so perhaps a little bit of front wing damage, not visual damage, but damage nonetheless. But I don't think Robbo is that much of a superhero. And Ethan, I'm sorry, but we caught that on 4K here. He did exceed track limits there. But Jacob, does he have the run? No, the straight line speed of the Williams, just a bit too much for him. As he receives another penalty. Multiple warnings. Josh has made the overtake on the McLaren for P6. He now wants to chase Ethan. McLaren behind. He's finding the right lines to gain the time as Dan is out of the race. And that is unfortunate. Josh receives another time penalty for exceeding track limits. And that is such a shame for Dan. He was running a great race up until the contact with Jay. And he didn't deserve to not finish this race. The final lap of the race it is. I completely missed that. But this is everyone's last chance to get a move done. Jay will be holding on for dear life as Jacob could get the run. He does have penalties, so he will lose the position anyway. But surely for pride he'll want to get this move done. As through the final two corners comes Robbo to win the Japanese Grand Prix in somewhat unlikely fashion. Robbo is your winner. And Jay has held on to P2. And after penalties, I'll let it all sort itself out. In the end, Oliver gets a P3, and he did look quite strong during that race, constantly looking for different lines through the first sector to try and find any way past there. And he is also the driver of the day. And in the end, it is the win and the fastest lap for Robbo. A little bit of luck came into play, but when it counted, he made the most of it. The right strategy today, and he managed to hold off the pressure from Jay. Jay will be, I'm sure, a little bit disappointed to miss out after grabbing pole, but in the end, strategy is what came into play. And from P12 on the grid, Oliver rounds off your top 3 for the Japanese Grand Prix. But this is only provisional. I'm sure there will be a lot of penalty disputes to go on after this session, including that incident with Josh at the final chicane, completely outbraking himself, and unfortunately that led to Brandon getting a penalty. In the end then, 5 DNFs, as Dan and Shane made it far enough into the race to not be classed as a DNF. But quite a few unfortunate incidents, quite a few unlucky accidents. I know Jamie, Shane and Dan were all just losing it on the curb, I think. It's such a difficult track to get right. And the amount of DNFs here shows 10 finishers in the end, with Charlie rounding out the finishers. And I'm not sure if my lobby's bugged, but I appear to be stuck here. And this shows just how crucial strategy was. The only person to pull off a one-stop strategy during the race was Robbo. Obviously starting on the hard tyres, managed to take those tyres till the second safety car, which came at the perfect time for him. He immediately came in and strapped on the set of mediums to take him to the end of the race. And in the end, that was enough for him to win the race. But some drivers, Jacob here doing a 5-stop strategy, that's how many safety cars there were and how much chaos there was. But that will be it for our coverage of this round, the Japanese Grand Prix. We hope to see you next time, when I'm sure there'll be plenty more action and plenty more incidents to speak of. Thank you for watching.